Wow, if you've seen the store over the past 5 years, you would have noticed some changes. Yeah, we've been through a huge amount of renos, and I just wanted to take some time to talk about the process and give you a bit of insight as to what was really going on in my head while it was all happening. My name's Natasha Ambrosiak, and I'm the CEO of Karratha Adventure Sports. I grew up in Karratha and spent a few years down in Perth with my mum and moved back in 2017 with my family. It was the Wild West in the store back then. We had what you needed, but it wasn't really the place that you wanted to shop. Half the time, the staff didn't even know where to find things. It was cluttered, dim and hot, and it was just a lot to manage. But even then, and still now, we pride ourselves on our variety. It's not just offering fishing, diving, camping, sporting and marine, but it's having the depth in each one of those departments that makes us special. We're not just a place where you go in and order things, we actually have it in there, ready for you right here, right now. The store that we had wasn't the store that I wanted. I had plans. I knew the kind of environment that I like to shop in, and clutter, kills me. The store was so cluttered, it was dark, and God, it was hot. It gets to 45 degrees plus on a regular basis in Karratha during the summer. And when you're working in a giant warehouse with aircons that aren't really working, it's pretty hardcore. We had little split system aircons in some of the rooms, but in no way could we dream of cooling down this giant warehouse. We eventually got some big aircon units installed, but they didn't work properly. Nobody thought about the power supply when they got installed, so every time we turned them on, it would blow the power out. They put a different type of gas in them that was supposed to be more efficient, and we ended up blowing 3 out of 4 compressors between that and the power failures. It was a mess. When I took over in 2021, that was one of the first things that I tackled. I replaced the solar system, upgraded the power, and got a new aircon company in and fixed it all properly. Finally, the store was cool. It made everything else easier from there. Once we had brand new lighting and cool air, you could really see how disorganized the store was. The departments were scattered, diving was over here and it was over there. The fishing shirts were in the sports room and the cast nets were jammed near the counter. None of it made any sense. The very first step in our big reno process that we started in 2023 was actually to move the counter. This changed the whole way the store was laid out. We changed the entrance to the other end of the store, and it made way more sense with the flow of the car park, and then using the old entry door as our delivery area, which we still use now. And there's a smaller door that we use for the customer entrance. It's got an air curtain on it. It just made the store cooler again. Once that was all sorted, we started renovating what we called the fish shed, which eventually became the diving and sports store. The fish shed was actually an old dive school from the 80s and 90s. We used to do paddy diving schools out of it. That's where I learned how to scuba dive. We turned it into a bit of dumping ground over the years. It was full of stock, which ended up pretty much doing all our car park sales, which I'll do another chat about that another time. But the fish shed, we gutted it. We pulled out the old classrooms, we cleared out all the junk and the random shop fittings. We set it up as a clean, fresh store, and the feedback was amazing. We only kept the best stock, we sold off or cleared out the rest, and we had this fun, clean space to work with. Music pumping, totally different vibe than Karratha Adventure Sports had ever had. And that's what I wanted for the whole store. And would you believe, we kept both stores running all the time. We only closed for about 4 or 5 days throughout this whole renovation process, which is absolutely insane when you think about it. We were literally pulling down walls at night and trading during the day. When those walls came down at Balmoral Road, it completely changed the feeling of the whole store. The big floor space was just exactly what we needed. And camping used to be upstairs, which was a massive health and safety issue. Before we had a forklift, staff used to manually unpack pallets outside, price everything one by one, carry it upstairs in 45-degree heat. It was absolute madness. And then when the customers wanted to buy it, we had to drag it the whole way back down the stairs again. Even with a forklift that we got later on, it was still brutal work. No wonder we struggled to keep staff back then. It was basically Adventure Sports, the gym. Moving camping downstairs was a no-brainer. I still don't know where I got the idea to put fake grass in the camping section, but it works. Flooring's insanely expensive in Karratha. So when I was looking at all these different options, I was just looking at all these boring carpet tiles, and then I saw grass and I was like, hell yeah, it's fun, it fits the camping vibe, and turns out the staff are pretty happy because they don't have to vacuum it. So win-win. Upstairs then was set to become the new fishing department. We were worried at first that it would be too hot up there, but it's been totally sweet. We've even added a couple of extra aircon cassettes just to be safe. Setting up the fishing upstairs was the hardest part of the whole project. Chelsea, our store manager, did an incredible job at designing the floor layout. We tried to reuse as many shop fittings as we could, but we had to get quite a bit new. Those glass reel cabinets, they're actually kitchen cabinets that we customized and custom fitted all the glass with the locks. We even 3D printed hooks to hang the fishing reels properly. It turned out absolutely epic, and it's my favorite part of the store now. The whole fishing department is in one spot. Shirts, reels, cast nets, all together. And with more room, we could finally bring in more brands that we always wanted to but never had space for. My godfather is a retired Boilermaker, and he helped us custom mount the rod racks and build some of the shop fittings, like the crab neck display thing that you can see here. We really put the family in family business. I'm so lucky to have that support. The whole store just flows better now. Once the fishing was sorted, we got through Christmas, and man, it hit me how much I had pushed myself. My youngest wasn't even 2 years old yet, and I missed so much of her first couple of years. When you're running a family business, it sometimes feels like you're always choosing work over time with your family, and it absolutely broke me. I'd originally planned to keep the diving and sporting store open longer, but after a brutal Christmas season, I sat down and I made a pros and cons list, and you know what? Even though it felt like a waste to give up the fish shed after all of that work, it made total sense to bring everything back together. I measured it, and somehow the old fishing room, which, just had a few camp chairs left in it, was practically the same size as the second store anyway. Moving back saved on power bills, point of sale systems, staffing headaches, everything. And working together as a full team again, way more fun. It took us one extra day than planned to move it all, and I was crazy enough to have my 2-year-old daughter running around while I did it, but we got it done. We ran crazy shoe sales this year to clear out some of the old stock, and now the store's just in a really good place. The staff are happier, the customers are happier, and honestly, it's a running joke now that I'm not allowed to move anything else around. I think we're all done with renos. It's been a huge 2 years of serious work, 5 years of serious work to be honest. And we still have a few minor projects going, like we're going to put some artwork on the banister, but all the big stuff's done. And yeah, that's the story. That's how it all happened. If you want to hear more about Karratha and Karratha Adventure Sports, make sure you follow us on our socials, check out our podcast and YouTube channel.